Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We're back for another match of the Cape Town Sevens, the first of which for Fiji and France here as they get their Cape Town Sevens campaign underway. Now, Fiji, they were disappointed to miss out as badly as they did in Dubai. They won their ninth place playoff game comfortably. They weren't in the quarterfinals, and this competition certainly going to be hoping to make it a bit further than they did in the last. Whereas for France, they're always somewhere around their 8th place, sometimes better. They have been able to finish as high as 3rd recently, but they'll be looking for a good Cape Town Sevens competition as well. Looking through at the starting lineup for the French, it will be Legel, Rebage, Pesquet, also Steven Perez, Rivas back in the side, Iragua, and Joseph Jefferson Lee as the last man. Then for the Flying Fijians, it will be Joshua Makunarabili, Josefa Talatholo, Jeremiah Matana, Nathunu, Mofinofangi, Saturanga, and Filippo Bukayaro as the last man. And that starting lineup, and they're just about to open the tunnel, and these two sides will be making their way out onto the field. Now, this game, I always say it, when you've got such a talented side going up against a very talented side alongside that, there's always going to be fireworks. And with it being the evening session at Cape Town, I feel like this is going to be an awesome matchup to build into the final match of the day, which is South Africa versus the Canadians. Of Fiji all the way says Viniana there. Rufus said, hi there, Kiwi Lads. Looks like an ideal condition for the rugby. I think Fiji will win comfortably. Don't know much about this French side. Well, you are right to think Fiji should win on paper. 68 times that these two sides have played off, 62 times Fiji have been the victors, but this French side, there's a new look to them. They've got Grand Didier, will be coming off the bench alongside Paul Damon Caro, and I think those guys should be able to keep this match close. Fiji, they'll be fired up after missing out on the quarterfinals. They were in a tough group last week with New Zealand and Argentina. They did well to beat the Argentines, but they did lose to the Kiwis in that points differential. Just ended up sneaking up on them a bit more than they would have liked. But Steven Perez going to be kicking off this one now for France. And a bit of Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond at Cape Town. It has been a party atmosphere for day one. There haven't been a huge amount of tickets sold, I don't believe, but tomorrow and the next day should be a lot more people in attendance. Perez kicks it off long. Legel tries to get it underway. Great work there in the air by Bukayaro. Fiji now with the position. Nathunu across. They're currently inside of their own 22. Mofinofangi looking as the support option there, but instead offload bound back to Nathunu. Now it is Mofinofangi. Perez tries to take him down. It's a knock on by Fiji. Advantage now in favour of the French. Wrestled down there. Joseph Jefferson Lee. Iragua goes across now. The wide cutout pass. Now Riva down the wing. This is a good start to the match for France. Can be quite intimidating playing the Flying Fijians with the amount that they do offload, but it seems like for now the offload may have backfired on them. Now Joseph once again offloads to Perez. Iragua. It's been all France for the possession ever since a little mistake from the Flying Fijians. 1 minute into this contest, and now Riva, ball on the outside. Gives it to Legel with a good step. Nathunu takes him down. Hurt him badly, I think, but it looks like going to be able to continue the match. Perez, or Pesquet, in fact, it was, who had the handling error of his own. Makunarabili, now 10 meters out, finds another offload to Josefa Talatholo. Just willing to take contact for now, but this game's being played at a hard tempo to keep up with for both of these sides for the full 14 minutes. Another offload from Bukayaro. Gives it off to Nathunu. Now trying to break through, but France, they're pretty quick with their defensive side of things. They don't allow you to get out wide without having someone there. Now another big line break. Great run forward from the French, from the Fijian. Talatholo, he's beaten them with the speed. And that will be the first try of the match for the Fijians. It took 2 minutes. They had to work hard for it, but now they are successful. And Fiji comes with huge history of winning this format of the game. First try soon. There's the roof. Can you update me on Discord to Springboks versus Canada Sevens? There's Brandon there. And let's go Fiji. Of course, that is the next match that is going to be taking place at 7:03. I believe is when that one will be starting, but instead we will be starting at the 7 a.m. That'll be the final match of the night. And I believe it's about, I'd say 13 and a half hours till the next matchup that's taken place for the Cape Town Sevens. With that kick's gone over, Fiji now sitting 7-0 up over their opposition, France. So a good start to the match. They had that little handling error at the start, which seemed like maybe what's going to be continuing from some of those little mistakes we saw in Dubai. Fiji, they fought hard, they defended well, and then that little mistake from France actually led to Fiji getting the counter-attacking opportunity. Nathunu puts it high. Nicely taken by Perez, driven backwards by Vakurabili. Legiao has to defend that ball. Now goes across to Irigua. Riva drops it. He's been out of the 7th circuit a little while. Pauline Riva back in there now. He looked up to see whether or not there was a massive Fijian player charging at him. There was, but he dropped the ball in the process, unfortunately. A coming New Zealand game, says Brandon. I believe that would be New Zealand versus Kenya. That is the plan at this stage. Anyway, I believe there's about an 8:10 p.m. kickoff for tomorrow. But yeah, we did see New Zealand defeated by Spain last night. And also we have got there Achise Hamish unable to watch due to FIFA World Cup commentary. Says Nate. And there was, oh, that actually reminds me. One of the FIFA World Cup matches will be over by now. Croatia versus Brazil. I have to have a quick look. So who managed to get themselves the win. 3 minutes left in this one. Talafolo, inside ball, another drop ball. So I think it's maybe getting a little bit slippery at the moment out there on the park. Now Pasquet into attack. Another advantage for France. They go back for the penalty. So the winners of the game so far today, Hamish, I'd say biggest upset of the day has to go to Spain, getting themselves the victory over the Kiwis. Then also alongside that, we've seen Team GB, Great Britain. They were able to get themselves the win over Australia. They were probably the two big upsets we've seen of the day. The rest of the results, I believe, went relatively similar to how people expected. Ireland were pushed hard by Japan later in that game, running away with that 19 points to 5. But for quite a bit of that game, Japan were right in it also. Irigua, Pasquet now. After this one, Vakurabili tries to make the tackle on him, and it's a strong one right into the ribs. Irigua goes to Legiao, Perez. Got a few familiar faces in this French lineup for this matchup. Perez has dropped it. It's going to be a knock-on. The handling really not impressive at the moment from either side in this game, unfortunately. Just a lot of errors. And I then have fun, says Ruth. And there as well. A muffin of Fungi putting in a big hit on Perez. Created the opportunity for the Fijians to get that ball back. Now 1 minute 40 left of the half. I've seen, I assume you're watching the football live, Nathan. And I assume you know the situation as I know the situation currently. I don't want to spoil anything, though. That's going to be a great run. Filippo Bucayaro just able to break the line. Too easy there for Fiji to get through up against this normally solid French defense, but maybe fatigue starting to kick in, the frustration of dropping the ball a few times. But Filippo Bucayaro just ends up selling a dummy off the back of the scrum, and an opportunity that shouldn't have really created itself does for Bucayaro. Puts the pace in, gets the try, and Fiji get themselves another. What a shocker for New Zealand. My goodness, the Spanish have some magic pills. Wow, amazing. Yeah, New Zealand just never really found momentum in that game. I believe at halftime it was 7-0 for Spain. New Zealand started firing back in that second half, but it just wasn't really enough to be able to get a victory. And Spain deserved it for the second time in history, getting themselves a win over New Zealand. So we're seeing 2 missed tackles from both of these sides. The handling error count will be through the roof. That's another one. Luckily for him, though, Pasquet, it's gone backwards. There will be play on French possession now. Irigua goes across now. Legiao, quick hands, gives it to Pauline Riva. Now has it. I think once Grandidier makes his way onto the field, France may start to have a bit more momentum flowing. But for now, they are struggling inside of their own half. Now, it's going to be Jefferson Lee having to run it backwards for a little bit there. Joseph. Now Legiao. Good tackle made on him. Low. by Saturanga Iragua. Just offload the ball and gives it straight into the hands of Fiji. Cannot afford to do that up against a try-scorer machine known as the Fiji Sevens side. What an offload. And Nafunu goes in, gets the try. Fiji now at halftime going to have themselves a 21-0 lead by the looks of it. Oh, my lighting's gone a bit funny. There we go. Slightly fixed it, and thanks for the awesome rock and commentary, Kiwi lads. Hamish is fantastic. Keeps going, marathon man. Says Ruth. Yeah, I think we're into about our 7. No, we're more past 7, aren't we? We're probably into about our 11th or 12th live stream. Live stream hour, I should say. We did about 7.5 on the Sevens. Nothungu just knocking off some of the dew off the ball. But Fiji sitting 21-0 at the moment, our halftime. This is certainly an impressive performance from Fiji, firing back exactly how they want to. And also, I have to head to Discord because I want back online. When I will know, I will get you moderate updates, but I can't as you're not online, says Brandon. And there's currently halftime in this one. It's got a couple new names off the bench here for Fiji, but still few familiar, I should say, such as my Samoa Walangi. He's had a couple opportunities. Ratu Theory, another player for the Fijians who could have quite an impact in the second half. Fiji started with a bang, no holding them back, says Ruth. Exactly right. The next game, I believe it's going to be up against the South Africans. So it's going to be a pretty tough game, but I'll be looking forward to it. Alongside that, in their group, they've got Canada. I think that's the last game that they've got, and that's at around 4:30 or 3:30, I believe it is, tomorrow morning that it will be taking place. But currently, the French coach trying to fire up his team. They looked a little bit under par out there on the park. Now, Grandidier, I know will have some sort of impact for them, but might be a little bit too little too late. Of course, the game of sevens, though. One team's able to score certain amount of tries in the first half. The other team certainly has the capabilities of being able to get themselves the same. Nathungu, good try for him, though. Also, alongside that, we saw the try for Talatholo and Bokayaro, also able to pierce his way around the back of the scrum, breaking through that French defence. Also, how are you going to doing after Lodestein, says Brandon? I mean, I'll probably end up forgetting, to be honest. Luckily, the game has only taken place in 17 minutes' time, so I assume you'll still be here at that stage, Brandon, for South Africa versus the Canadians. But Nathungu about to kick this one off for Fiji. And to kick it high, possibly to retain their kickoff. Perez, it's gone backwards. Fiji get themselves the bounce of the ball, and Bukayaro keeps it alive. Now Fiji back into the attacking mood. Nathungu, nice ball off to Vakurabili. Working the breakdown from Irigua, although he dove over the front of it. So that is why it's a penalty against them not supporting the body weight. It'll be a big score for French. Need to get moving. Fiji are absolutely monstrously strong. That's a fun word, isn't it? Feel like since it's 6:47 a.m., it didn't quite roll off the tongue the way it normally would. Apparently, only 40 seconds into the second half, and Fiji already have themselves a scrum sitting 22 meters out from the French line. Fed back, a lot of pressure there on Bukayaro. Bit of football being played between the two sides. Has bounced back onto the side of France. Pasquet goes off to Perez. Now down the wing, Grandidier. He's leading try scorer alongside Apelo Maliko. You can just see why with the impact he's been able to bring. Now Rebage with a good shot on him. Penalty goes the way of Fiji. And also, do you want to know who's going through? I've actually got it on my phone. I had the penalty shootout sitting down there. Only the updating score, not the actual footage, but looks like a bit of an upset, Nathan. Croatia may have only just beaten Japan, but now they've gone on to beat Brazil. And Neymar getting a goal. Petkovic getting the goal for Croatia. Through to the semi-finals they go. Interesting stuff. Nice, says Nate. Man, the next game is actually taking place in an hour and 10 minutes time, isn't it? Argentina versus the Netherlands. Line out throw here for Filippo Boccaiaro. Taking that line out actually for the Fijians rather than going for the quick tap. Just slowing it down a little bit. Nice inside ball. Off now to the big man and number 4, Mothinothangi. Boccaiaro runs it sideways. Doesn't break through the way that he would have liked. Now Mothinothangi has to give it off for Billy. Probably the 2 biggest players almost in the competition linking up there. And Talatolo got some slides to him as well. Saturanga off the Billy. Tries to flick it back into the field of play, but it has found the touchline. France now with the line-out throw. That field is even bigger with only 7 men of the team hard yards, says Ruth. And yeah, these guys, they're all brilliant athletes. But you've got to run all the way around this park with just 7 individuals. We normally, on a field like Cape Town, you are looking at 15 on 15. Of course, the Storm is home ground in the URC. We've also seen, I believe, a South African test match taking place here throughout 2022, but Perez now gives it off to Riva. Good shot on him by Billy. He might have hurt himself in the process there, which is a rarity. He does fly in at that pace. Now Pasquet trying to go through. Good protection of the ball by Legel. Only 5 meters out from their own line here for France. Iragua gives it off now. Grandidier going to start charging down the wing. Grandidier finds the offload to Iragua. 40 meters out. Another offload to Riva. Fiji's defense has just been everywhere throughout this matchup. And Jeremiah for the next try says Root, so that will be Jeremiah Matana. Number 3 for the Fijians. Grandidier. Once again, good tackle made on him by the number. Boccaiaro, Legel. Been more position in the second half of France than they had in the first. Legel misses the chance to pass. Taken down low by Jeremiah Matana. Another penalty goes the way of France, and they're actually complaining, saying maybe Nathungu threw the ball away. Double blow of the whistle. Okay, he's going to be all right. I thought for a second they were going to give that yellow card. A few changes being made for the French here. Okay, I think the referee said because they were making subs, it didn't really make a difference in terms of the ball being thrown away. I've noticed when I have my head in one place, I am actually like looking kind of tan right there. And then if I have it in the other place, I look extremely pale, similar to Voldemort, although I do have a nose. Some would say it's slightly larger than normal. The nose, that is. Now, it's going to be a good run forward for the Fijians. Paula with the offload on my Samoa. Keeping the ball alive now. Wala Saliso gives it off to my Samoa. These two linking up quite nicely. It's an advantage for the high tackle. Talatholo goes through. And it's another try for the Fijians. They had to work a lot harder to get that one, Fiji. Taking them 4.5 minutes off the second half, but the second in the Cape Town Sevens for Talatholo. Second of the match. And he's still walking with a bit of a limp, Talatholo. I thought I saw something there last week that resembled an injury, but seems to be all right for now. Hopefully that's nothing too serious. And he's able to keep on playing throughout this competition. Talatholo says Nate, and also go Fiji. Says Mel. And the Fast and Furious game grass could be a bit damp with dew and sea close to the Atlantic Ocean. From a roof there. And Fiji all the way says Viniana. And Tossa Fiji says Mike. It's going to be going over now. Fiji with a 28-0 lead over the French. And for me, this is a statement win. Because France are one of those sides that normally, they have a close game with Fiji every once in a while. They were able to beat them in Dubai in 2021 Sevens Circuit. But they just haven't allowed the French in the game. Those early handling errors were all it took for Fiji to now say, we're in this. And we're going to be going all right. Naduva gives it across, another replacement for the Fijians. In fact, I believe they've emptied their bench at this point in time. Boccaiaro runs sideways, gives it off now to the big man, number 5. I believe that is actually going to be Walangi. I've lost the ball, though, in the breakdown there. And France with an opportunity. Riva, ball on the outside. Gives it to Rabaj, trying to find a way through. Just stripped clean by Fiji. And Walangi now has the chance to find an offload. Doesn't find it. Instead, gives it off to Grandidier. Last chance of this half. Looks like it's going to be coming the way of the French. Although the way that the ball seems to be switching hands pretty easily, maybe Fiji will get the last crack. We've still got another 40 seconds on the clock. Riva drops to the ground. Still there. For France, now the youngster, number 21, Carol, wrestled down. Great work in the breakdown from Fiji. Talatholo locks herself over the ball, gets the turnover. Good game, Fiji, says ML. And they'll be looking forward to their next challenge now up against South Africa. They couldn't have played too much better in this game, you'd have to say, Fiji, other than, I mean, they gave away 2 penalties, but I think that was always going to be on the cards with it being quite slippery. And then also a few handling errors could also be put down. The fact there's a bit of due for this matchup. But we have just heard that siren. Going to use up a few more seconds on the clock now before throwing this one in for Fiji. Walangi. Nicely taken by Talatholo. Like they say in France, in the top 3 at the moment in the Sevens rankings, whereas Fiji, they're 5th. Maisa Molo, great run, inside ball, and that's going to be another try for Fiji to close out the game. It is Ratu Rathiri who was able to get it, and Fiji beating them 33-0. Still with a kick to come, could be 35-0. Russia won against Brazil. They didn't need in the penalty shootout 4-2 at the end of Anaka TKL. There's Viniana. Fiji are just on fire. Another try, says Ruth. Yep. It's been flowing freely for the Flying Fijians in this matchup. That game up against South Africa, that's the tester, because that probably determines who goes through as number 1 and who goes through as number 2 in that group. You want to make sure you won. You get a slightly easier road to the finals. And that kick is missed, so that will make the end score 33-0. But Fiji scoring a lot of tries, looking good while doing it, and now they will be looking forward to their next game taking place tomorrow. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. The next game that we are covering on the channel will be South Africa versus Canada. That's only about 8 minutes away from kicking off. The stream starts in the 5-minute. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you didn't enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in about 5 minutes or so time.